Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to be connected again in this webinar. And I always start, I would love to see where are you from, to see with who are we connected in this webinar. And a very special one. It's an immense personal frequency I share with you tonight, and I will explain why. Before this webinar, I had a Dutch webinar an hour ago, and I got in the chat some responses of people who said, "You look a little bit sad." I'm not sad, but I'm very touched, and I'm very grateful to share this very personal but very important frequency with you. And before I explain everything about this new frequency, I want to read two sentences from my book, what is saying everything also about this frequency. It's from my book, The Particles of God, and I start there with a sentence: I searched for God and found myself. I searched for myself and I only found God. This first sentence where I wrote here, sometimes I don't know why I say things or why I feel things. I just express it and I never ask why. It's just a feeling. And with this frequency, celestial connection, I really start to understand this sentence. And where this frequency is all about is about restoring, healing of your connection with home. And maybe you recognize this, that I really do what I love most. Every day I enjoy immense what I'm doing and how I can do my work and the connection with Arcturians. I enjoy every second. And still, sometimes I feel a little bit homesick, or I feel a little bit of I'm missing something. And then I'm getting a little bit angry with myself and I say, why you have this feeling? You have every reason to be happy with your family, with your children, with your wife, and with your work, what you do, what you enjoy so much. And still, sometimes I can feel like, as I said, homesick, like missing something. And this frequency explained me everything, because it remembered me that on this planet I have just a human experience. But I'm much more than that experience, and I have, like all of us, also you, we have certain remembrances very far away from where we come from, where we lived in unconditional love and unconditional connection, and where we were connected with everything what is. And celestial connection is about this, to connect again, to reconnect again with everything what is. And if you restore or heal this connection, then we will be in a remembrance of who we truly are, and we will start to recognize why you are here, why you came to this planet, so we can connect with our soul purpose, and we can connect with the whispers of the cosmos, so we start to know everything what we need to know. And if this is restored, we will look different, in a different way to each other. We will start to recognize in each other's eyes our family. We will understand more and more the pain of other people in another way, that we don't make it personal anymore. So fear of rejection, we don't need it anymore. Fear to fail or fear for critics, we don't need it anymore, because we start to understand everything. And when we go deeper and we start to really work on this process, we can connect telepathic with each other again. So we don't need a lot of words anymore, words to explain things, just the way it is. So we start to remember everything what is. But the most important thing, to remember what you are. And I say what you are, not who you are, but what you are. Because if you start to do what you love most, if you start to do the reason why you are here, then I need to say what you are, because that's what you are. You are what you do. So with this activation, this new frequency, I'm so thrilled to share it with you. And also, I need to explain that I talk a little bit slowly, because I promised my Spanish friends not to talk too quickly, so they can understand the English language. But in this webinar, I want to share 2 activations. It was, I think, 2 months ago, I got the first frequency of this new series, Celestial Connection. And I was not working on this subject, totally not. I am writing a new book and making 13 new activations based on a shamanic nature of God. The release will be in September. I'm in the middle of writing process. It's almost finished, and also the activations are almost finished. If you understand the connection with Arcturians, the frequencies they gave me are based on healing pattern, healing from our DNA, healing from things we need to unlearn. It has to do with self-love, with self-confidence, with activating your potential or your inner power or your remembrances. Then we have the shamanic nature of God, where I will release in September. And this is all the knowledge from the earth, from the nature, because also the nature is based on sacred geometry, but has another knowledge. And we are here having a human experience. So if we start to understand also that part, then it grounds us more in self-confidence and also to find answers why we are here. And then when this first frequency came to me, I was so deeply touched, because it says everything about my connection with Arcturians. It's more a cosmic frequency. It's not a frequency from this planet. And with this frequency, we connect the knowledge of this planet, the knowledge of the earth, the knowledge of the universe. We connect with the cosmic consciousness. So that makes the story for me complete. That was always the little missing part, to bring everything together. So when I finished this frequency, the celestial connection, I was really deeply touched. And I sent it to Asonic, who makes the music, and explain him the meaning, and then he goes in a channeling. And it was less than 1 week ago, he sent me the first part of the music, the frequencies for this code, and I was really blown away. I felt really that my light body got activated, so I start to feel safe to connect with the other worlds, to connect with home, to connect with my guides. It created a powerful, as I said, a light body, also called the Merkaba. But before I share this activation and explain more about it, I want to give energy to everything, to heal it, what is between you and this pure connection. Because we need to heal our chakras. Our chakras collect, and it's like a backup, it's like a hard drive of a computer, what collects everything we experience, and in that way we get blockages. And the blockages in our chakras can, for everyone on a different place, if they don't get healed, we create habits, fear for rejection, fear for critics, fear for maybe getting sick, fear for poverty, can be different kind of things. So we create this in our chakra system. So first I want to share with you also a new activation, and that is activation revitalization. And in this activation we give energy to our chakras to prepare ourselves for the activation celestial connection. For the ones who are here for the first time, I will explain what is an activation. An activation is based on sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is also the language of our soul, because everything we do in words, that's the reason we need to connect again in a telepathic form. But still we are communicating with words, explaining things, so everything we say in words is based on duality and competition. But sacred geometry, we have no references. They communicate because you and I are sacred geometry, connect with our subconscious, with our soul. In ancient Egypt, the mystery schools, they use sacred geometry to go to a next level of consciousness. So when we start an activation, you just focus on the center of your screen, and we start with two codes next to each other, just focus in between it, and you connect with the sounds you hear. Music is vibration. So with this vibration, with the vibration of sounds, we put frequencies. Maybe you heard of bioresonance. We put megahertz frequencies because every chakra, every emotion has a frequency, and we can translate this frequency in a megahertz frequency and bring that into the music. So this meditation, active meditation, goes right away there where it needs to be. So it's possible you will feel temperature differences or sensations in your body. Also, these two activations connect with your pineal gland, so it's possible you will feel some pressure on your head. But, so you focus on the center of your screen, you connect with the sounds, with the music, and after 3-4 minutes your screen gets totally black. At that moment you close your eyes, and you stay with your eyes closed until I come back to you. And you stay connected with the music you hear. And just allow everything what needs to happen. Also in this two activation there is a voice talking. Don't want to understand it. Just let it go. It's just a message for your subconscious. So don't think about it. And always we start an activation with a 3 times deep breath. Also, you do this 3 times deep breath at the moment when you close your eyes. So let's do it one time together. So you breathe in through your nose, you hold it, and you breathe out like a release. This breathing you do 3 times when we start. And in a moment when you close your eyes, when your screen gets totally black, you do again this 3 times breath. So for now I want to ask you to leave the chat. So we start this webinar with the first activation, revitalization, to start the healing of our chakras and allow everything what needs to happen. So please leave the chat. I will close my camera and start the first activation. After the activation I will be back with you, and I want to ask you, when the activation is finished, stay with your eyes closed, because we go 1 minute in the silence just to digest, to process the frequencies, and you stay with your eyes closed until I come back to you. You hear my voice again. Enjoy this journey through all the chakras. After that I will be back with you to explain the activation celestial connection. Talk to you after this activation. I will close my camera. We take again slowly 3 times the deep breath into your nose, out to your mouth, as deep as possible. And stay in this frequency when I start to explain a little bit more about the celestial connection. Last Friday we had a Zoom with the tribe members. When you are a member of the tribe, Cosmic Care Tribe, then we have every month a Zoom together to connect, personal connection, and I will share new things where I'm working on, background information. And an hour before that Zoom, I got the first part to share the celestial connection, and that was really incredible. It was the first time I experienced it complete, but also the people in this Zoom. And there were some reactions what really says what it does. It activates our light body, so our Merkaba. So we can connect easier to restore, to connect with our ancestors, connect with our guides, connect with home. Because maybe you recognize it, that we sometimes have a feeling we're missing something. Like there is more. Like a remembrance that we are more. And then we get a kind of desire to connect with unconditional love or unconditional real connections. We are souls who have only one frequency, that's the frequency of love. And then we come to this beautiful planet. Arcturians say it's the best planet in the whole universe, because on this planet everything is possible. And we are only here to recognize ourselves, that we are love, and that we can create and manifest everything we want. But the first step is that we understand who we are and what we are. And the first key, sometimes I say for manifestation or to create your life in the way you want, is the self-love key. And this goes beyond this. This has everything connected with each other. It's connected with everything what is. And if we learn or remember and to accept that everything what is exactly the way it needs to be, then we are free and we can open up freely to make the connection again with home. I shall tell you an example. In the beginning, when I started to get connected with Arcturians, I was blowing away, and it felt like coming home. It felt like, now I understand what I'm doing here. So I stopped my job and I start to go full to work with Arcturians, to work with sacred geometry. And then there was a moment, it was gone. The connection was gone. I didn't feel them anymore. And it took, I think, 1.5 months, nothing. And I was really upset because I felt I lost the connection. And then when I was in a deep meditation, the connection was back. It took some time. And the first thing what I said, where were you? I missed the connection. And they told me, we were never away. We are never, never away. And this counts for every human being. The ancestors, the guides, the angels are always there. You were gone. You were too much in your mind, too much thinking, so there could not be the connection. So we have a lot of distraction in our life. What broke the connection with home? And with this activation, we want to make a start. And of course, I need to be honest, one activation cannot restore everything, but it's the first seed, the first start to reconnect with home, to reconnect with the God part that you are, to reconnect with your ancestors, to reconnect with your higher self, with your soul, to reconnect with home. And if we start to reconnect this, we can start to look in a different way to each other, to experience each other in a different way. And the next step after that is that we learn or remember that we can be telepathic with each other, telepathic with everything what is, with each other, with home, with our ancestors, our guides, the angels, the nature, animals. Can you imagine if we are back in our real nature, who we truly are, that we can connect with everything what is? And then I'm getting excited. That is that homesick feeling that in a certain way I remembered something and I didn't know what it was. So let's connect with celestial connection. If you really feel it after the activation, I will explain more about it, because this is for me such an important activation, the whole new series of celestial, that I created a kind of mini workshop, 11 days, to really work every day on this frequency, to reconnect with home, to reconnect with your guides. So I hope you join me with that one, but later I will explain you more. So please leave the chat and let us prepare for celestial connection, to activate our light body, to connect, to restore our real connection with everything that is. And just close your eyes and follow your breathing. Just close your eyes and follow your breathing. And think of someone you love very much. Can be a pet, can be a human being, can be a situation what opens the heart chakra. So think of something or someone you love very much and try to feel that love in your heart. And make that love bigger, let it grow. Just connect with that love so that we open up our heart so the frequency can do a bigger job inside. And then we put intention to put little golden lines from our heart to everyone who's doing this activation now or in the future. Because in the quantum morphokinetic field there is no time, no distance. It's just intention and making the connection. So just put intention, little golden lines from your heart to everyone who's doing this activation. And then you bring your love from your heart chakra, your love, your pure unconditional love on these little golden lines. So we send it to everyone. And then also you need to open your heart to receive the love from the others. So we create and we manifest a very powerful field of love. And I want to ask you to open your eyes and please leave the chat so we are prepared for the activation. When I start activation, we do 3 times a deep breath. You focus on the center. When the screen gets black, you do again 3 times the deep breath. And you close your eyes. And you stay with your eyes closed until I come back to you. After the activation, we just go 1 minute in silence for processing this frequency. Enjoy celestial connection. I will end my camera and start in a few seconds the activation.
where whispers weave a tapestry of dreams to believe. Celestial deep, where galaxies gleam. Infinite realms, a cosmic stream. Whispers of cosmic embrace, we find our truth, our sacred space. For not all seek the higher realm's trance, yet some yearn to converse with Arcturian skies, to whisper with stars where the soul flies. In this tapestry of realms, we find our song in the dance of galaxies.
We take again slowly 3 times a deep breath into your nose, out of your mouth, as deep as possible. And when you need some grounding, just stretch to ground your energy. Be aware where you are at this moment. And when you are back here, just share with me in the chat one word. What do you feel right now? Just share one word. And what you can do when the webinar is finished, write that word down and keep that with you for a few days. So your subconscious, every time when you look at it, connects again as a remembrance to this frequency, to reconnect with home. Share with me one word. What do you feel right now? Just one word. Wow. Thank you. This is immense personal meaning for me. Celestial connection. It has everything to do with the connection for me with Arcturians, but also to connect where I'm coming from, to remember what I am, to understand more and more of myself, to reconnect with my guides, with my God self. And this is a very important frequency. It's a new series. What everything has to do, like the first activation I shared with you, to activate revitalization from the chakras, to give the energy a free flow in our body. If you want to go deeper and you really want to reconnect and you feel this connection, then I hope you make the journey with me. What we start next week with the same name as this activation, Celestial Connection Online. It's 11 days where we connect 11 days long with different frequency, but all together to connect with everything what is, to open the connection with our guides, to open the connection with our ancestors, to connect the connection with what you are. And I hope you make this journey with me. We kept the price very low because I felt everyone needs to have the possibility to do this 11 days challenge. We're starting next week, and you do it in your own pace, you do it when you want, but next week it opens, so it's available. So, as I said, this frequency for me, I think, is one of the most important frequencies, the celestial connection. It brings me back to the connection to what I am, and to recognize and remember why I came to this amazing planet, and to understand all the distraction keeps me away from my essence, because it's not worth it. And sometimes I talk to the Arcturians and tell them, if I see the news or I heard certain stories from the news, I get a little bit sad. Then I can lose my trust that everything is love. Because there's a lot of things are going on this planet. And Arcturian explained me, don't get distracted. Because it's not the reality. It's just, maybe in Holland we have a saying, maybe in English it's the same saying. At the end of the fight it gets a little bit harder. This is the last part of a fight what took already centuries long. And so we need to believe that love will win, love will succeed. So more and more people we need to raise the frequency on this planet, to connect again with our ancestors, to connect with what we are, to connect with home. So everything goes faster, this turning point, because the Arcturians explain me we are in an amazing turning point, what never happened before on this planet, and you and I are part of it. So we need to reconnect to our God self. We need to reconnect with what we are. And I hope I planted the first seed in this webinar to inspire you to reconnect with celestial connection. I hope you join me in the 11-day challenge to really work on this theme. Thank you for being with me in this webinar. Thank you for allowing me to share. I'm very grateful that I could share this frequency with you. And thank you, Asonic, for the music. It's touched me very deeply. Everything is right the way it needs to be. Thank you. And thank you all. Hope to see you next time. Hope to see you in the online and else in the next webinar. And I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.